The following segments are pre-recorded and sponsored by Longworth Productions.
Rebates from Duke Energy on Triad Today. Hello everyone, I'm Jim Longworth and welcome to another edition of Triad Today, coming to you once again from the beautiful Senior Botanical Garden here in Kernersville. We'll tell you more about them later on, and later on is when the roundtable shows up. We'll get into all sorts of controversial topics, so stay tuned for that. Between now and then, some great guests, important information coming your way. Where we want to start is helping you and telling you about rebates that could be coming your way. We do that with two experts in the field. Our good friend Hank Hennings, Manager of Local Government Community Relations for Duke Energy, and Hank's special guest today, Bill Gerganis. He's a Senior Trade Outreach Representative for the Smart Saver Program for Duke Energy. Good to see you guys.
Good to see you. Thanks for having us.
Hank, let me start out with you. Why is this a good time of year to talk about energy efficiency, and why did you bring Bill along? So those are your questions.
Well, fair enough. Thanks again for having us. So yeah, as we're getting into the hot part of the season, it's always a good time to think about your equipment, and this is really when there's a lot of stress and strain put on stuff, especially your air conditioner. And so if your air conditioner does go out, or you have to have it, you're thinking you're going to have it replaced, a lot of people don't realize out there that if you're a Duke Energy customer, we have a lot of rebate and incentive programs to offer back. And so I wanted to bring Bill here today to talk about our Smart Saver Energy program to help people save some money when they have to make those big expensive repairs.
And just as a disclaimer, we had to get a new unit and we got a rebate, but that was before I met Bill, so there was no collusion, Bill.
I hear you.
Now, what very quickly, what's your role at Duke Energy?
Like I say, I am a senior trade aisle rep with the Smart Saver Business Program. I guess my overall duty is I'm an educator. I work with our mechanical contractors, electrical contractors, vendors of all sorts, and educate them on what incentives are available from Duke Energy customers.
Well, give me an example of an incentive that I'm going to pretend like I don't know these exist, since I did take advantage of a rebate, but tell me what kind of things are available.
Well, if you're looking for commercial building, we have lots of rebates in lighting, HVAC, we've got commercial equipment, food service equipment, agricultural equipment, and just tons, over 350 prescriptive type incentives on our app application that will meet every one of your needs.
For agricultural applications?
Yes.
What do you mean? Like if I'm running a big farm?
We got, let's see, watering systems. We have crank heaters for diesel tractors.
Okay.
Dairy
and watering
coolers.
system, so you're conserving the resource.
Well,
I think that's
conserving
neat.
electricity.
Yeah.
Running pumps. There's a lot of stuff in the dairy industry, a lot of dairy plate coolers and different things.
Now, of course, we're talking about big farms, big industry, big business, but let me come back to the thing I was kidding about a minute ago, and that's just a small homeowner like me. What do we mean a rebate? What's that about?
Well, we do have a site on our website called Find It Duke. You can go in there and they will send you get calls from 3 different contractors that will come out and give you some estimates on it. They are vetted, they are insured, and like I say, you'll get back up to $450 back for a qualifying unit.
And you said Fact Finder. What was it? Fact Finder.
Find It Duke.
Find It Duke. Find It Duke. All right, I didn't have that.
Yeah.
We'll try to get that, but I do have a couple things. Duke-energy.com/business/products and also /home and /products. 866-380-9580 for general information. Before we run out of time, Hank, how does this help customers and help Duke at the same time to do all these things?
Well, so the goal for Duke Energy, just to tackle that one first, is more efficient equipment. It lowers the demand on our grid, and that helps us to save money, which we can then pass along to our customers directly in the pocketbooks of our customers. Anytime that we can help them to be incented to put in more efficient equipment and save on LED bulbs and so forth, it helps us both, and it really helps their pocketbook too. So strongly encourage people to take advantage of these. You're giving up a lot of, I don't like the word free, but free money that you can get a lot of discounts on.
It's right out there.
Yeah.
It's right out there. Just check it out. Well, Hank and Bill, thanks for doing this. Appreciate all your good work. And we'll come back and talk about some more rebates sometime. Not for me, because I've already had mine.
I got you.
We'll be right back after this.
With prices increasing everywhere, Duke Energy is here to help with your energy bill, offering a variety of customer assistance programs. Lower rates for using energy at different times of day, free energy insights to help lower your bill, and payment plans and programs that make staying on budget easier. We're Duke Energy, and we're here to help you.
Need help buying food? Everyone needs help sometimes. Food Nutrition Services may be able to help you buy food and free up your money for other expenses, such as utilities and medicine. To receive F&S assistance, households must meet income limits. You may be able to get assistance even if you own a home, car, land, property, or have a retirement plan or money in the bank. Second Harvest Food Bank of Northwest North Carolina team members can help you with the application process over the phone. To receive help or if you have any questions, call 336-422-7758.
Hi, I'm Jim Longworth, reminding you that Triad Today is now streaming on WFMY Plus, available free on Roku and Amazon Fire TV. Back now on Triad Today, always glad when we can spend a few minutes talking about the Petty Family Foundation. And for those of you who haven't seen some of these segments before, yes, it's the Richard Petty Family Foundation, the great NASCAR legend. They do so many great things for kids and veterans. I'm not going to tell you all about it because the special guest here can tell you. She's been with us before. We're always glad to see Shannon. Shannon Newman's Director of Development for the Petty Family Foundation. Welcome back.
Thank you, Jim.
Let's remind people, in case you don't know, what's the mission of the Petty Family Foundation?
So the foundation was started in 2008 by the Petty family as their way of giving back to the community. You know, so many people are familiar with Victory Junction, which was started in memory of Adam, but the Pettys wanted to be able to continue to give back to some of the grassroots things that are going on in the community. So they started the foundation. And as you said, we help veterans and children's organizations right here in the Triad.
Absolutely. And they're too numerous to name, but, you know, like with the Ricky Prohl Power Play Foundation, I know you guys support that. A lot of places that do great work. Now, you sent me an email one day that talked about Operative Talent Initiative. It's pretty fancy. Operative Talent Initiative that you're involved in now. What is that all about?
So Operative Talent is another nonprofit, and their focus is to educate youth and their parents about careers in the automotive tech industry.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and you know that the Petty family has been actively involved in the community by providing scholarships to students to be able to go and study automotive tech type of things. We partnered recently with Operative Talent, and so, you know, the goal is that we'll get the mission out to the students and their families about all types of careers that they can pursue. So maybe if a 4-year degree isn't for them, we can help educate them on the different paths that they could take.
Going to the local community college and going into automotive things. I think that's great. All right, let's talk about the fact that, you know, you guys have to do fundraising, you know, to make these things happen so you can help kids and you can help veterans and all this stuff. So let's talk about that. There's a moonshine run.
Yeah.
What is that about?
Yes. So a few years ago, we started what we called the Moonshine Run. And we partnered with some of the moonshiners from the show Moonshiners.
Right.
And they've become great friends and great supporters of our foundation and always are willing to help us do our fundraising. So we go to Cosby, Tennessee, to Adventure Stilling, and it is Kelly from the show. It is his distillery, but he's very close with Mark and Digger and JB and all the others. And we go up and we do it's kind of like a rod run.
Right.
And they get to go to Shine Girl Distillery, which is Danielle Pardon. And
great.
yes,
Great.
She is Dolly Parton's niece.
Okay.
And we just have a good time. And then we end up back at Adventure Distilling with a big party and auction and dinner and music and all of those great things.
What could be better? Ties to Dolly Parton and helping Richard Petty's foundation and everything, and moonshine. All right. They also have a golf tournament every year, right?
We do. So the golf tournament this year is October 3rd and 4th. We start with a dinner at Petty's Garage on October the 3rd, and we, of of course, we have a fundraising auction and entertainment and great food. And we have special guests that come out, local celebrities that come and visit us. And then the next day we go to Grandover and we host the golf tournament, which runs from about 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. And we have a great time.
Yeah, my wife won't let me play in that because I don't know how.
Oh, come on.
I don't know why that matters. Hey, very quickly, there's a roast of Richard coming up. Is that right?
There is, and it's being put on by the Winston-Salem Rotary Club.
Okay, all right.
And it's just going to be an opportunity for the folks to come out and listen to people tell stories about Richard in his younger racing years, and we've got some surprise guests coming to that as well.
I've always been a fan of Richard Petty, dating back to my childhood. Is it true that somebody at a recent auction, I forget when it was, very, very recent, wanted one of Richard's hats and paid some big sum for it?
They did. In fact, Richard went into his home to retire for the evening, and someone offered up $25,000 to buy his cowboy hat. So
Wow.
a phone call was made, and out came Richard with the cowboy hat. And never going to turn down an opportunity to get a great donation.
$25,000 donation to the foundation, and that's what makes it happen.
Yep.
Up on the screen, I want to mention this, pettyfamilyfoundation.org is the website where you can learn more about the events, you can learn how to make donations and all the kind of things. pettyfamilyfoundation.org. Shannon, thanks for all you do.
Thank you.
All right. We'll be right back after this.
You know, it's hard to believe the Safe Sober program has been going strong for over 30 years.
And over 600,000 students have made the pledge to stay safe and sober on prom night. You know, Griff, it's had a huge impact on our community.
Yeah, you're right, David. And now we're making sure the message continues year-round.
So everyone can join us in supporting our students.
Learn more and take the pledge at safesober.com, sponsored by Daggett Schuler.
Back now on Triad Today, and you know, spring is upon us, summer's just around the corner, and that means getting out and doing things and being active, and you got to watch out, don't injure yourself. We're going to talk about that, about injuries, with an expert in the field. Thomas Steele, physician assistant with the Novant Health Orthopedics and Sports Medicine Institute. Welcome to the show.
Well, thank you.
Now, I think I've already said it in the introduction, but I'm wondering, what are sort of the more common injuries that occur this time of year?
Yeah, so this time of year we see a variety of different injuries. Mainly people are trying to get out and enjoy the warmer weather, especially after a long winter and stuff. So you see a lot of people starting new activities, getting out in the yard, doing more gardening, getting, again, outdoor activities like pickleball, tennis, hiking, walking, stuff like that. So you'll see injuries in elbow injuries like tennis elbow, rotator cuff injuries, knee pain you'll get the ankle sprains, stuff like that.
And people of all ages, I mean, this can befall anybody, right?
Oh yeah, you've seen from pediatric patients all the way to older populations as well. It doesn't, orthopedic injuries don't discriminate.
Yeah, well, yeah. And do you have any advice? I know we could spend an hour on this, but very quickly, do you have any advice for how to avoid some of these injuries?
Yeah, so I think the prevention is key. Obviously, I think to start with, but you can't always plan for the unexpected. So one thing I always say is, being aware of your surroundings. Making sure you're in a safe environment, making sure you have the proper shoe wear, your equipment is all up to date, and then, for those people trying to do new activities, is gradually increase your activity, progress it along, and then listen to your body. If you need to rest, take that rest. Make sure you're eating and drinking plenty of fluids, especially in those hot days.
You mentioned pediatrics a minute ago. Let me circle back on that. Any advice specifically for parents on how to keep their young kids safe?
Yeah, so one thing we always tell for parents is, kids don't like to be injured. They will try their best to kind of fight through injuries and stuff.
Right. I'm fighting through one right now.
There you go.
No.
Hopefully your mom's watching then. And but yeah, so always keep an eye out for limping or them favoring like a specific body part, like a leg or arm after an injury. And then if they're not able to complete that activity that they really like to do, or you see them limping around, is to kind of bring them in and get that checked out. And then overuse injuries are very common this time of year as well.
You're talking about checking things out. Now, how do I know? Now, this is for any age, not just young kids, but if you think there's an injury, how do I know if I should go see someone like you or go to an orthopedic specialist or go to urgent care? I mean, how do you know?
Yeah, so I mean, first things first is if you have a medical emergency or a life-threatening injury, go to the emergency room. After that is, I think it just depends on where you're at and what time of day you're trying to get it, but get looked at. But usually your best bet would probably to go to Novant Health Orthopedics and Sports Medicine, because likely if you go to urgent care, they're great to get you initially evaluated, but you may end up leaving with a referral to
And
come
send
see
them
us.
to you anyway.
Yeah. So
I was going to ask you about referral. I mean, can I just call you in? We're going to put up a website in just a second, but can folks just make an appointment with folks like you? Or
absolutely,
you
can call and make an appointment. We have same-day appointments available. You can also come into our walk-in clinic for those acute injuries and stuff that you are concerned about, and you can be seen that same day.
I guess before we run out of time, and since you're a first-time visitor, I want to ask you, who or what led you to want to go into healthcare?
I think working with people is, it just being able to help somebody, especially orthopedics, you get to actually see people get better and help them, whether it's with surgery or just without surgery. Obviously, preferably we could do that too, but it's good to see people kind of progress and get better.
Yeah, well, I appreciate what you do, and I just thank you for coming here. Maybe we can get you back sometime.
Absolutely.
And talk more about some of these things. Up on screen, novanthealth.org is the general website. I hope you will check that out and learn all about various topics and take you to various departments and specialties. And to Thomas Steele, thanks for everything you do.
Thank you for having me.
All right, we'll be right back after this.
Are you looking to jumpstart your future in the fast-paced, rapidly growing food industry? In Second Harvest Food Bank's Providence Culinary Training Program, you'll learn the craft and art of cooking, plus business and management skills, science and nutrition, and essential life skills. Providence Culinary Training has helped hundreds of individuals just like you launch successful culinary careers. There's no reason to wait to turn your passion for food into an exciting career. Check out the upcoming class schedule on our website at providencews.org.
Hi, I'm Jim Longworth, reminding you to catch my column Longworth at Large and Yes Weekly every week. It's available throughout the Triad, or you can go online, yesweekly.com. Back now on Triad Today, and we're going to talk about branding and for the city of High Point and marketing and lots of changes in High Point. And we have two people that know all about them and helping to make them. On my immediate right, our good friend, she's been with us before, Rokia Worthy's communications specialist for the city of High Point. First-time visitor Ryan Ferguson is marketing manager for High Point. Good to see both of you.
Thank you. Good to see you.
Ryan, let me start with you. Now, tell me about this new branding initiative that I heard about. Rokia sent me an email, so there's a new initiative underway. What's that about?
So City Council kind of wanted to put together kind of a task force to just explore and see what our story is at the City of High Point, what our brand should be, and should we look into the possibility of kind of being able to tell our story. Not so much a rebrand, but just the ability to kind of tell our story. So we put together a marketing and branding task force and did some research. We've paired up with an amazing marketing firm called Civic Brand, and we've been working for the past year on finding out what our story is.
Well, what kind of process is involved in doing something like that?
So we wanted to make sure that it wasn't just city council or some people in city government saying, here's what it is, right?
You wanted a lot of input.
We wanted a ton of input. So what we did is got out in the community. We did through surveys. We did a lot of activation events. We get out there and just talk to people and see what they wanted, what they thought High Point was. And mostly, a lot of people, not only within town, but within the world, they know what High Point is because of our furniture, right?
Right.
And it's fantastic. Furniture is fantastic. But we are more than just furniture. We've had a history in textiles. And what we're doing now is just kind of reinventing ourselves of who we are. And
new ballpark, lots of new things going on, a history of great jazz music. There's everything in High Point, yeah. But now, how long is this initiative going to take before we all sort of, as a member of the public, find out, are you going to unveil something, or how long does this take?
Yeah, so we have been working probably for about the past year or so. Like I said, getting out in the community, talking to them, and understanding what we, collect all that information, understand what we need to know.
Yeah. Now, what can the residents expect from the rebranding?
So with the branding, they'll be able to really see who High Point is now. Like Ryan was saying, it's not just the furniture. There's so much more to us, and it really gives a chance for us to highlight the creativity that High Point has become known for, and it gives them a chance to be a part of the creativity as well. Whether you're a bartender, whether you're playing at the stadium or wherever, you have a part of that. And so we're excited to be able to see people join in and really take a piece of High Point and be proud of it.
Always something going on in High Point too, and you've had a big hand in trying to redesign things like some of the websites and whatever, and I really take my hat off to you. You've done a lot of great things to just from an information standpoint, which is important because you got to be able to communicate what's going on.
Absolutely.
I also want to mention there's an upcoming show because Dave Briggs couldn't be here today, so he would hit me if I didn't mention this. Sunday, September 3rd, Napoleon Dynamite. That should be fun, right?
That's going to be really exciting, and just the fact that it's more than just a screening. You know, you get to see the movie online, but you also get to have a conversation with the real life popular characters in person. So we're looking forward to having them join us.
That's kind of unusual. You know, you'd be able to see the film in a theater setting and then have a discussion and meet the stars of the film. That's pretty good.
Absolutely.
Are you going to be there? Because, you know.
Oh, 100%.
That's right. I will make sure. All right, up on screen, High Point Theater. Speaking of rebranding and stuff, I love this website, highpointtheater.com. Remember to type in 2 T's, highpointtheater.com. It gives you all sorts of detailed information about the shows and performers and whatever. And then if you want tickets, the best way and the most cost-efficient way, call 336-887-3001. Rokia and Ryan, thanks for doing this.
Thank you.
And thanks for all your efforts in the city. We'll be right back after this.
Every cookie sold in the Girl Scout Cookie Program helps girls learn lifelong lessons in people skills, decision making, money management, goal setting, and business ethics. It's amazing how much you can learn from a cookie. The Girl Scout Cookie Program. Think outside the box.
Back now on Triad Today, just about time for the roundtable, but a quick shout out to our good friends here at Senior Botanical Garden in Kernersville. Please come to the garden, check it out. There's always something growing here. And speaking of that, 3 guys who are always growing. They're growing mentally and emotionally in different ways. Ogie Overland, great broadcast journalist, and of course, Dr. Don Martin, former school superintendent, now chairman of Forsyth County Board of Commissioners, and our special guest today, Bob Shackelford, who was president of Randolph Community College until recently. Now he leads the Shackelford Leadership Institute. Guys, let's get to it. Last week, a captain in the Greensboro Fire Department was fired over a series of controversial social media posts in which he made disparaging remarks aimed at the LGBTQ community. No doubt the postings were offensive, but my question is, in general, are you okay with a public employee being fired for bad behavior away from work? Ogie.
I mean, it's a case by case, but in this case, I mean, he's a captain. He's supposed to know better than that. He's supposed to be a leader and a role model and set an example. You shouldn't be doing that.
Done.
Yeah, rank and file employees do not give up their constitutional rights, but when you assume a leadership position, your sort of standard of behavior ratchets up. So I don't think he has a case on a freedom of speech issue, and I think it's one he's protecting and supervising people that may in fact be LGBTQ.
When you're a public employee, the public is required to help pay your salary, including the LGBTQ community. And they have the right not to be insulted by the people they're being forced to pay their salaries.
All right. While conducting her high school anatomy class, a California teacher was asked by a student to explain the function of the prostate. In her answer, the teacher included facts about sexual arousal. Then later, she was suspended. Now, I have several questions. We can attack this from different angles. Are you okay with the suspension? Should teachers just refuse to answer sensitive questions? Or should high schools get rid of anatomy and sex ed classes altogether? Ogie.
You know what happened? That was a little wise guy trying to bait that teacher, little Beavis and Butthead out there.
Yeah.
She should have just finessed around it, and she didn't catch on to it, but I don't think the firing was at all justified. I don't. And of course you got to teach sex ed to teenagers. That's who needs it most.
Anatomy class. So even if the guy set her up, I mean, the question is, I mean, are you okay with the firing? Don?
No, not suspending or firing at all. And yes, we do need to have sex ed classes.
Bob, what's your perspective on this?
Well, it's high school, and these kids have been exposed to a lot more than what they're going to hear in that anatomy class. And it is an anatomy class, and they signed up for it. Yes, we need to have sex ed because they're certainly not hearing it at home.
All right. Now, drunk drivers continue to injure or kill innocent people at an alarming rate. Since those accidents take place on public roads and since state roads are maintained by federal funds, would you like to see Congress make drunk driving manslaughter a federal crime carrying the same penalties as a hate crime? Ogie Overman.
I don't think so, Jim, and not to minimize drunk driving. I hate it, but it's not a hate crime. It's more of a disease crime or some other category. It doesn't belong in hate crime.
You make a deliberate decision to get into a car drunk and drive it, Don. If you kill somebody, should it be a federal crime so that there's more penalties?
Well, I think state crimes can be, they can carry all, if the legislature doesn't like the penalty, they can change it. But I think there can be state crimes. I probably don't want to get into the federal kind of issue, and I'm with Ogie. There's many cases we got a disease issue dealing with there.
The penalties, though, state by state, Bob, are not very strict for these cases yet. In a few states they are. What do you think?
I agree. I don't believe it's a hate crime, but I do think the penalties need to be stronger. I remember in driver's ed hearing that 50% of fatalities on the highways were related to alcohol, and the penalties need to be stiffer.
All right, speaking of roads, opponents of legalizing medical marijuana say they fear that people who smoke pot will then get behind the wheel and cause accidents. Is that a legitimate reason to oppose the use of medical marijuana, Ogie?
No, that's a last-ditch effort. You might argue that for recreational, but medical marijuana. I mean, a lot of people that need it, like glaucoma, they can't drive. My wife with MS can't drive, so no, that argument's lame.
Don Martin.
I guess it depends on whether those that think medical marijuana, that you end up, someone told me that a state that has medical marijuana, that a third of the people have a prescription. But clearly marijuana does contribute to fatalities on the highway.
Bob.
When I taught sociology, the police officers in my class insisted that drivers under the influence of alcohol were much more dangerous on the highway than those who were smoking pot. And I don't think these two issues are related.
Okay. Last week, the Oklahoma State School Board approved the nation's first religious taxpayer-funded charter school. The new Catholic school is a virtual school. Very quickly, guys, are you okay with taxpayers funding religious private charter schools? Quickly, yes or no?
No, on either count. I mean, not charter schools and not religious schools.
No, but the case is going to be determined on whether you can have whether a charter school can be religious.
Bob.
If the state pays the bill, they're going to dictate the curriculum. Absolutely not.
All right, finally, guys, tenants of an apartment building in Berlin say they are entitled to lower rent because their landlord sunbathes in the nude where everybody can see it. Now, guys, I know at one point or another, you leased an apartment at some point in your life. If your landlord sunbathed naked, would you demand to pay lower rent, Ogie?
Was it a man or a woman?
Well, I don't know that matters.
Well, it matters a lot.
Do you? Don, would you want lower rent?
No, I wouldn't. Yes, I would like lower rent. Yes.
Bob, what do you think if your landlord was?
Depends on what she looked like.
Golly, what do you do in that institute? I've got a business card, a Shackelford Leadership Institute.
I'll take it back.
What do you do in that institute? All right, well, that's all the time we have. Oh, except for this. German scientists now say that pigeons dream while they're asleep. The reporter said, "Are you kidding me?" The scientist says, "No, it's a straight poop." See, it's the pigeons with the, I don't know what's wrong with you guys. All right, for all of us here at Triad Today, I'm Jim Longworth. We'll see you next time.